Hi everyone and welcome back to another Work No Game video. Today's video is dedicated to a should you pull for Rosaria and Awaken Hilde plus the content drop. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. One of the first things being that there's going to be a maintenance. We're going to be getting 400 quartz as compensation. There's going to be this circuit link system event where we're going to be getting an awakened unit for free. Support Lee Jisoo will break her down even further. And there's going to be the normal recruitment. Rosaria will cover her bits and information. Just note that she is going to be very meta, very amazing, and future proof as well. And when it comes to Awakened Defender Hilde, also a decently future-proofed unit. She will get slightly outclassed by not by much, but she is a waifu, which makes her top tier in my opinion in other ways. The new ships Enterprise carrier type, and New Detroit is going to be dropping. Enterprise is going to be the ship that you want and definitely something to look out for. Mainstream episode 5 is also going to be releasing Terraside 2 with relevant supply operations. So that's going to be cool. We're going to be getting new PvE stuff. New dives as well. 36 through 40 are going to be unlocked. So this is going to help us in getting an actual enterprise. So because dives are usually geared towards more ship materials, and then limited fusion unlock where character cap is going to be increased to 110. So all of the dupes that you've been holding on to, they're finally going to get a functional use instead of them just sitting there, because they're going to help you out with getting fusion cores and all of that stuff. And then there's going to be the new missions, firm growth missions, company level 40. I'm hoping this will actually give us some fusion cores in order to help us out with like the new stuff coming to the game. But let's go ahead and jump into the informational bits right here. And the first thing I want to cover is this section right here, which is going to be the actual events. So this is going to be sort of like a breakdown by Meow. So super cool. We get to see all this information. As you can see, we're going to be spending 2,750 quartz to do one pull for Awakened Hilde. And note that the Lee Jisoo is going to be free. And here's going to be how the banners are looking and everything. All right. So when it comes to Rosaria or Rosalia, she is going to be very amazing because when she drops onto the field, she's actually going to be immune to all damage for 5 seconds, and she's going to get a 20% increase to HP, and this is all at skill level 5 for her passive. And note that she also permanently increases her attack by 1.5% every single time she kills an enemy. Possibly one of the greatest units in the game for like just rangers, and she's pretty future proof, I would have to say. This is going to be a KR tier list, and if you scroll up, she's going to be one of the top units right here, and she's going to be an A in PvP, S across the board. And just note that the reason why she's A in PvP is because she gets countered by a lot of different units. It's up to you whether you really care about that. Just note that she's going to be very amazing. And then when it comes to her special skill, it's going to be on a 20-second cooldown. Just note that whenever she dies and she gets redeployed, the cooldown is going to be refreshed, so she can cast it again upon impact or upon entry, which I think is really cool. And then Blade of Condemnation, an ultimate that is on a 55-second cooldown, might be lowered depending on if you can get it to skill level 5. And when she gets redeployed, I think it also gets lowered. So that's really cool. Personally, I think she's going to be a fantastic unit. She's going to really shine in PvP for the most part, and she's going to be great for PvE. Let's go ahead and take a look at her actual abilities right here. Now, this is going to be her summer skin. This is going to be her meme skin, and we're just going to go ahead and try out her normal skin right here. When it comes to Rosaria, I feel like she is going to be the attack ranger that everyone wants, like a pure DPS ranger that we've been looking for, because we got Karen Wong, we got Kyle Wong, we got, you know, Elizabeth and all these other units. Rosaria is going to be like the first one who's actually going to be a dedicated DPS, and that's all she does. She has no other gimmicks, and she does like pure insane damage. And note here that being a flying unit means she's immune to any ground attacks. And you saw earlier when she got deployed, she cast her, you know, special skill right here. Reminds me of like just portals coming out of nowhere and just shooting lasers. And then this is going to be her ultimate skill right here. I think it looks absolutely amazing. She draws like a little sword and creates like a geyser of energy. Definitely a worthy pull, and you can sort of save in some ways for the other like banner that might be appearing, which is the soldier banner, and that's going to be the next one. Most likely, if we follow like schedules and all that, things can change, but just note that the soldiers, they are S's across the board, but they hit different, right? These soldiers are going to be SR units, so innately they are not going to have the highest stats, and not to mention their soldier units, but also they're most likely not going to be banned that much during PvP timeframes. It's up to you whether you want to pull on Rosaria and be waifu, or you want to try soldier meta and, you know, go down this rabbit hole. Just note that SR units are also easier to pull, easier to build, and when it comes to Rosaria, it's definitely going to be much harder to raise her. Let's go ahead and jump into Lee Jisoo. Now, this unit is going to be a stripper, a debuffer, and she is definitely free. Like if you jump right here, this is going to be giving you like the more event details, and essentially the breakdown goes is that there's a bingo bingo event, right? So you complete like a certain amount of the tiles, and I think this is gonna be like costing some info. We're gonna like find out as we see. I'm not sure what this all says, and Google didn't translate it for me, and I'm not going to try to Google translate it because it might say some wonky stuff. But you can see here there's gonna be like, I guess, 4 battles right here, or something's going to be occurring. You need to do stuff. Just note that she's gonna be obtainable for free from what I've been reading, and she's gonna be a decent unit overall. Just note, like, don't focus too much on the ratings right here. The only reason why she's 4 out of 10 and 7 out of 10 is because she has a very niche usage, all right? So when she is on the field, she essentially casts an overall debuff for everyone, reducing attack speed, increasing her health. Also, any units are going to be getting less healing, less attack speed. That's really her thing with her passive. And then when it comes to her special skill, she's just going to be reducing attack for 20% for 10 seconds for, whoever she hits. I think that's a single target attack. And then the cooldown is reduced by 4 seconds, so it's going to be a 20-second skill. And then when it comes to Golden Sword Curse, just note that what happens is she is going to be casting a skill where she can remove buffs permanently, or she can strip buffs, and if she kills someone, she gains the buffs for herself. And she's just going to be a really insane unit. She doesn't have any defense breaks for some reason. If she had a defense break, I feel like that would push her over the edge as one of like the better like strippers, debuffers in the entire game. And if you actually scroll down, she's going to be a little bit further down. Now you can see Nayubin, we'll cover him later and why we would like talk about him at all. But Lee Ji Soo is going to be over here. Note that she is still an A in PvP and a B in story. Now when it comes to like these other stuff like raids, co-ops, and battle support, that's going to be very niche. But the biggest things that we didn't even talk about earlier was like Rosaria is a 4-cost unit, and Lee Ji Soo is going to be a 5-cost unit, equivalent to someone like Titan. And in some ways, is she as good as Titan? Maybe, only during like specific situations. But just note that we're going to be getting her for free, and if you ever see her on a banner, it's really not advised to pull for her. So it's just really cool that we get a free waifu. All right, so this is going to be Lee Ji Soo, and I absolutely love like this skin right here. It looks like crazy amazing. Let's just run like a normal one for the sake of it. If you want to see like how that skin functions, feel free to check out my other video. I did like a future banners and all that, and I covered like all the fun skins. And this is going to be her as soon as she drops in. I feel like it's pretty classic to like things like Awaken units always have like a flashy entrance, and when she drops in, you can see her passive proc, and that's going to be her special skill right there that initially proc, where she's like casting a bunch of swords. And then let's go ahead and wait for her ultimate right here. I think it looks pretty clean overall, and I like how like her aesthetic is very easygoing, and she's not going to be as flashy as other Awakened units, which might in some ways like deter you, but this swimsuit skin is where it's at. I want her for waifu purposes, and I don't blame you if you want her for waifu, and she's going to be a free unit. So there's definitely no better time than to start the game right now to get a free amazing debuffer unit. And the next unit is going to be Awakened Hilde. Now she's probably going to be difficult to recommend for me personally. She's an 8 out of 10 for future proofness, mostly because there's going to be Nayubin. They pointed it out here that he's going to be like the new like meta defender. Just note that Nayubin is going to be a husbando. Hilde is a waifu. Is she worth pulling for? Yeah, in some ways. I would say she's worth the pull for if you want her, if you want the best defender right now in the game. Just note that her passive, she's going to be doing a knockback upon deployment, and she's going to be helping out allies with a little bit of shields, 8% of their max HP. Regin's Rage, she's going to be jumping back and essentially doing an AoE, and also reducing the damage that she takes from counters units by 100%, so she becomes immune to counter damage. And then later on, her ultimate, she dashes forward and she essentially does an AoE ranged attack, and the special skill is going to be decreased by 10 seconds upon level 5. I think Awakened Hilde is amazing. While her skills, like we can't see them all the way, she's gonna be one of the better units, I would have to say. Like Awakened wise, she's one of the 2 defenders that we get that are Awakened. Nayubin is the other one, and as you can see, he's rated a little bit higher when it comes to like PvP and story. And for Temple is going to be another PvE game mode. Now when it comes to Hilde though, she's going to be good at battle support as well. When it comes to this, they serve like 2 specific functions, and it's up to you. Do you want a waifu defender or do you want a husbando defender? Nayubin is really cool and he's going to be more meta, but if you want a waifu who's going to be like the Awakened like defender that you want to pull, then go for her. Honestly, you can't go wrong with Hilde. If you want to have fun right now, then feel free to pull her, but of course like the advice is to save for Nayubin and use Nayubin for PvP PvP, but that's like talking out of meta. And honestly, I would rather if you just enjoyed your waifus and just went for Awaken Hilde, if that is what is going to be your premise. Just note that this is going to be very expensive for, free to play, because with Awakened units, they do hit different in the sense that they're going to be costing, quartz. Like you only get a limited amount. And this is going to be Awaken Hilde. We'll talk about like the black contracts more really quick, but let's go ahead and cover her. So right here, this is going to be her other skin, which looks absolutely phenomenal. I think this is like known as like an anniversary bridal skin, something like that, right? And then let's go ahead and jump right here into her abilities. And I think she's pretty top tier, like all things considered, because she is going to be unique in the sense when she drops in, she's going to be dealing like that AoE damage right there, like the little shields, right? And you see like she just jumps in there and pretty much tackles you. So she's going to be doing a huge knockback upon entry, which is very useful for PvP situations where a bunch of enemies are going to essentially be on your ship and you're just like, how do I push everyone back? You just pop her in there and then she's just going to push everyone back, give everyone a fat shield. And she's not a unit that you would technically drop upon entry. You'd probably drop her like mid, like during the fight, right? Let's go ahead and use her ultimate right here. And I think it looks pretty snazzy. It looks like she's like riding her like 2 shields into victory, sort of like a Valkyrie from like Viking mythology and all that, like Hilde. Sort of reminds me of that. I think her animations are one of the best in the game, and that alone like makes her really cool to me. I know it's very simplistic when it comes to her review, but honestly, like she sort of speaks for herself. I think if you're pulling for Awakened Hilde, you're mostly pulling for waifu, and you're not really in it for like the meta and everything. All right, so those are going to be the 3 units that we are going to be getting for like today's patch, which is absolutely insane. Let's go ahead and cover like a few more things when it comes to this. So the Enterprise is going to be coming. This is the best like PvP, PvE, like overall ship. I think it's mostly used for like PvP, but as you can see, it's used for dive, the Shadow Hall, which is the temple, battle support, and raid bosses. This should be the first like SSR ship crafted. This is coming from like the Thai players who also played in KR, so they're very experienced when it comes to this. And then here are going to be like the Awaken contracts. We covered them before, and if you want to know, you can actually get some from the current battle pass. So go ahead and like check it out really quick in case you're curious. So right here, you could get like 40 of these bad boys once you like, purchase like this version, like the level 51 or whatever, the special plan version. So in some ways, it's worth it, like the battle pass, in case you want to do some summons. If you think it's worth putting your quartz in it, honestly, like we covered earlier, Hilde, you're pulling for waifu. You want a character that is good now, and you can't really go wrong. So those are going to be like the extra bits with this. Let's go ahead and really quick, like just look at this. So this is going to be Awaken Lee Jisoo. The only reason why we're looking at this character right now is mostly so we can cover like that fusion core stuff. So if we jump down here, this is going to be the new menu to push your character past level 100. This is to push them to, I guess, level 102, and there's going to be like more like extra stats. And I think this goes all the way up to level 110. So I did not know like it works in this way where we go 100, 102, 104, 106. Like I think that's my assumption, right? So if that's the way we're going to do it, that's going to be a long road to get any character to actually 110. I was curious as to why some people were 103 or something like that, but we'll see how this works out. Honestly, like this fusion core stuff, it's really min-maxy. It's only really for like PvP. It's unnecessary for PvE. You won't really need it, so it's really going to be like the top few who's going to be really be doing this. All right, I just wanted to cover this in case folks were like kind of curious about like the fusion cores and stuff. So when it comes to this, should you pull, like, let's go ahead and do like a rough cliff notes on everything. Feel that you should be pulling for Rosaria if you want to invest in counter meta. If you want to invest in soldier meta and be more free to play and try something different, then you can like try to pull for the soldier banner, because you are technically going to be more guaranteed to get an SR unit than you are to get an SSR unit. And I know a lot of people went to pity for Yumi Lee. Just note that Rosaria is very future proof, so she's worth it in that way. Awakened Hilde is going to be absolutely amazing. Lee Jisoo, we're going to be getting her for free for this event. Good luck to everyone who's going to be pulling on today's banners or whenever these banners appear. And of course, remember, waifu over meta. Enjoy yourselves out there, and good luck on the summons. Anyways, if you made it this far in today's video, consider subscribing, dropping a like, leaving a comment, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter. Once we hit 22,000 farming subs, we'll be doing a giveaway. Thanks so much for watching. Have yourself a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one.